From Viking halls to the cities of the future, terrain buffs will love our foreground hub. Watch gaming tables of all genres come to life at beastsofwar.com. Fight for the Iron Kingdoms as a warcaster. Take control of the mighty jacks, arcane devices, and dark sorceries to bring the fight to the War Machine Hub on beastsofwar.com.
Hi everybody, welcome back to What's in the Box. Today myself and John are having a look at some more Dropfleet Commander, and it is time to have a look at the Scourge Battleship, the Demon and Dragon.
Yeah, now these are horrifyingly awesome looking things.
Yes, they are. So I'll quickly fire the blister under close camera here. So you've got all your bits. Again, it's all resin as with all of the battleships. And on the back, you can actually see, I believe that's the Demon, if I'm correct?
Yes.
That's the one with all the Oculus arrays on it, yeah?
Yep.
So let's pop it open here, and we'll see what we get. So obviously you're going to get your base with your widget, your flight stand, and all the rest. Move this out of the way.
There's a lot of bits to consider here, so be careful.
But because there are so many bits, there is so much more posability in this.
Yeah.
So first things first, we'll have a look at the front canopy. Yeah, that's just a little bit of flash. So we've got the front canopy here, which has 2 furnace cannons on it, which are scary. I believe they're burn through 8, aren't they, John?
No, burn through 4. Well, hang on.
No.
Furnace cannons. Yeah, front and arrow, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, but there's...
Oh, they've alt fires.
They have 2 firing modes, yeah.
Yep, so Scald burn through 8, or Scald burn through 4 and flash.
Yes. So you have like a focus beam and a more dispersed beam.
Yeah.
Alright? So, looking at the actual model, they're in a really good place. The vent for this is really easy to take off. It's the standard Hawk resin, so just a little bit of a craft knife, that comes off perfectly. And then you have this at the back, which is actually your join point. So whenever you start adding your next sections on, these pop into here. Now, you do have another little thing to take off here, so I'll not be fit to do it on camera.
Yep.
But you can leave it humping down or arching up, which is a really nice touch. And then the detail that you have down along the sides is absolutely beautiful. You then have the connection points in beneath, which are for your fins and stuff, your sort of drives and, you know, sort of control surfaces.
Yep.
So you get that, another one of these, and then you get your central pillar. Now, I'll give you a piece of advice. Whenever you're building this, get your widget onto this centerpiece first, get it onto your base, and then as you're building, you can sort of begin to see the sort of pose that you're putting it into.
Yeah, you can pose it as you build it.
And the Hawk resin takes super glue perfectly every time.
Yep.
You then come further on across, and you come to the rear section. Now, there is a little bit of trimming to do around the back here, but that's very, very easy done. It's just literally run it around with a craft knife, not a problem at all.
Yep.
You then have your first set of engines in beneath here. We then move on across to some of these. Now, you get 4 of these in the set, and they are paired to go left and right.
Yep.
These, I imagine, are just like little control surfaces that are letting it, you know, go up and down an atmosphere.
Yeah, well, you say little.
Little, yeah.
You know, you say little. I mean, this thing, in the little fluff in the entry of it, you know, displacement is 26 million, 45,000 cubic meters. You know, these are not small.
You then have your secondary, I'm going to call these maneuvering engines because they are articulated.
Yep.
And they just go onto a little ball joint, so you have a ton of posability. So you can have them open, closed, you know, spinning and turning round. You then come to your actual weapon systems. So these are for the Demon, which are 2 massive Oculus arrays, which do nasty, nasty things when you fire them off. You then have, I've got one of these here. Where did I put the other? Not sure where I've put the other one of these. Ah, there it is. And these are launch bays because you can have a battleship with some launch capacity and a couple of torpedoes in beneath.
Yep.
And those torpedoes can fire 2 at the one time, which is very, very scary. So, John, which would you like to talk about?
We'll talk about the Dragon.
Okay.
So, first up, scan of 8, signature 14, thrust 8, hull 18. So it's not as oomphy as a couple of the others like the PHR.
But thrust 8.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference to a battleship being able to be that bit more aggressive and get up the table like a cruiser.
Yep. It's also got excellent point defense at 12.
Lovely.
Armor save 3+.
Yep.
So, onto the weapons.
Yep.
So, the Dragon is saying here, let me see.
It's got an Oculus beam array to start.
Yep. So, Oculus beam array, which is lock on a 3, attack 2, 2 damage, front.
Yeah, so
So it's not the front narrow, it's just the whole front,
front
45
V.
degree. Yeah.
The front V. What I like about the Oculus weapons on the Scourge stuff is whenever it's reliable damage. As soon as you hit, that's 2 points of damage that someone has to save,
Yep.
or 2 crits that someone has to save. And that 3 up, you're looking 5s and 6s for your crits. Not exactly a big ask.
Yep. They also have Scald.
Yes. Now, Scald is a very, very interesting little rule.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because Scourge tech is mostly based on sort of, plasma weaponry.
Yeah.
Whenever they get close, this is just a superheated ball of plasma, which is getting 0 time to cool down in the blackness of space.
Yep.
So what happens is, this has an armor save of 3 up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Generally what that would mean is, if it's a 3 up armor save and it's getting hit by Scald, that means it's up to a 4,
Mm.
4 becomes a 5, a 5 becomes a 6, right?
Yep.
But you have to be inside close action.
Right.
So it does make it very deadly when you hit that crunch point, that you can just suddenly kick out that bit more damage, and people are going, oh crap, my armor is really not as good right now.
Yep.
Next.
Then we obviously have the 2 furnace cannons, which we talked about with the alt fire.
Yeah.
They are front narrow.
Yes.
So watch that. Let me see here. So they,
Pointy.
the furnace cannon with the burn through of 8 locks on a 4.
Yep.
With 4 attacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
The other furnace cannon, the alt fire, which is the skull burn through 4 and flash, it locks on a 3 and has 2 attacks.
Yes. Now, there is one thing I would like to clear up for burn through weaponry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, initially I'll be rolling 4 dice with that, right?
Yep.
So, say I roll and I get 2 crits, 2 regulars, right?
Yep.
I then get to roll 4 more again.
Yep.
But everything after that is now critical. So
Right.
you'll have 2 saves, 2 crits, and then rolling on from that,
Mm-hmm.
which is the way it works. Now, I have checked with Dave, that is exactly how it works.
Okay.
So there is no, rules query about that.
Right.
I think that can sometimes be a bad thing doing it that way, because it means that you're rolling 4, and your chances of actually doing more are worse a little bit, if you see what I mean. Because you have a chance to lose a lot of dice early on there.
Mm-hmm.
But I suppose you're still doing that anyway. I don't know. Next.
We have the plasma cyclone, which is your close action weapon.
Yes. D6 plus 2.
Yep. So locks on a 2, d6 plus 2, 1 attack, front, side, and rear, close action, and scald again.
Yeah. So, skadoosh.
Yep. You have torpedoes.
Yes.
So on the dragon, you have 2 of them.
Yes.
Launch one, obviously, and they have corruptor.
Yes. Now, if you go to the special rules segment, we'll
This
have
is
a
at
quick look
the
at what
frigate
Corruptor
bit
does.
as well, isn't it?
I'm not sure if it's at the back. Is Corruptor down there? I think you'll have to go forward to the actual weapon rules section.
Yep, so where's the weapon?
So it's the one that I had bookmarked there for you.
Bookmark here. Okay, hang up.
See? Clever.
It's almost like he knows what he's doing, and I haven't got a clue.
Yeah. So, see, so it'll be the next page over.
Corruptor.
Yes.
A ship that takes a critical hit from a corruptor weapon also suffers the equivalent of a fire crippling damage effect, although in this case no additional damage is caused immediately. In addition, at the end of each subsequent activation by the corrupted ship, roll 1d6 for each point of hull it has remaining.
Yeah.
That sounds painful. Each roll of a 6 causes another fire effect to break out. This effect continues for the rest of the game and is not eliminated even if damage control efforts succeed in extinguishing all of the existing fires.
Yeah, so basically, every turn from now on, you are rolling to see if the razor worms that have been injected into your ship by the lovely, lovely torpedo do nasty, nasty things.
Yeah.
Torpedo itself actually has a decent damage profile as well, if you go back to the final frigate page as well.
Okay. Flicking
Lots
the
of
page.
cruisers,
Lots of
frigates,
frigates.
and
Okay, so let me see here. Torpedoes, thrust 9, attack 1, lock 2, damage 4. So that's not bad at all.
it's a little less damage than the other races, but because it's got such a good continuous effect... No, stay on there. I'm talking about other stuff too.
Okay, fine. Right.
Because it has that continuous effect, it makes it very deadly, especially against the bigger ships. Because let's say that got fired early on at a PHR minus.
Yeah.
Let's say it loses 4 hull points. That means it's still rolling 18 dice.
Yep.
Burn, baby, burn.
Yep.
So every turn it's just chug, churn through. Bombers and fighters for this faction are quite good as well.
Yep, so let's have a look here.
So your fighters are going to add +3 to your point defense. Not bad.
Fighters have a thrust of 24.
Yeah, exactly.
Point defense bonus of 3. Bombers have a thrust of 15.
Yep.
Attack 2, lock on a 3, damage 1.
Yes. They have Scald.
They do have Scald.
So if you think bombers that can actually just throw that Scald out there,
Yep.
and then you have the Hydra with launch 5, and the I believe it's the Dragon with launch 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're throwing out, you know, that moment of, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Now, bombers, you can try and shake them off if they went over the range, but with those having a range of 15, you know, that's pretty damn tasty.
You have a plenty of stuff to annoy everybody else with.
Yes, exactly. All right, well, I'll tell you what, John. Let's take a break. We'll get this built, and we'll see which one John decides to build. Okay, everybody, we are back. It is time to see what John built. John, you built the demon.
I did, yeah.
And once it's built, it's really, really mean looking.
Mm-hmm.
You've got all those little fins that I was talking about in beneath, which are actually, you know, maneuvering thrusters, and then the main drive at the butt. I'm calling it the butt because they're sort of techno-organic. You've got the twin burn-throughs at the front. Those two big Oculus arrays. Now, I actually did have a thought. You see the leftover bits? Now, I built a dragon, so I was actually left with these two components here, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try and do is, I'm going to take those, join them together, trim them down into a nice big crest, and try and make a secondary battlecruiser.
Okay. Yeah, well, fair enough.
So if I can sculpt the end of that to actually meet onto the top of a cruiser well enough, it'll give that nice big crest.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
You know,
you're looking at the basilisk, aren't you?
Well, basilisk or manticore.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see what he's trying to do.
Yeah. So if you're stuck waiting on all your mates, and well, if your mates all have battlecruisers and you don't, grab yourself a battleship, build the dragon, and then use the extra demon bits to build your own awesome custom battlecruiser.
Possibly, yeah.
Because they have the stealth full cloak, which means they never gain spikes.
Yeah.
Which is god awful in game. I'm not kidding. Not gaining spikes in this game is horrendous whenever you're going to reach out and touch somebody. Especially with the close action one. Because you're going sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Oh look, you've got spikes. Boop. Oh look, I don't get spikes. Oh look, boop. Die.
So yeah, the demon is quite an interesting one as well.
Yeah.
So you obviously have the front Oculus Beam array. You then have the Oculus Beam phalanxes, which are the big, I'm going to call them whiskers.
That's not a whisker.
I'm calling them whiskers.
This is not a cat.
It might be. You don't know.
You're not calling it Mr. Fluffy.
I'm not going to.
That is not fluffy.
I'm not going to call it Mr. Fluffy or anything like that. I'm just saying it has whiskers.
Okay.
So the phalanxes lock on a 3.
Yep.
Attack of 3 and damage 2. Obviously now they can hit front and side, left and right respectively.
Yes.
They all have Scald, of course.
Yes.
And then you have the furnace cannons on top of that. This is ridiculous.
Yes.
And then you have the plasma cyclone, which is your close action.
Yeah, this is your brawler.
Yeah.
Right? Because if total up the number of attacks just from the Oculus arrays.
All right. So if you're firing all 3.
Yeah. Let's say you've got someone dead in front of you. You're going weapons free.
Okay. So if you go weapons 3, right, you're locking on 3 on everything. So there's 8.
So there's 8 3-up attacks.
8 3-up attacks, which are doing 2 damage each.
Yeah, that's going to take a lump out of somebody.
Yep. So if you're very lucky with dice rolls,
like
Schwein over here, you're potentially doing 16 damage if you don't miss.
Yeah.
And you're capable of that.
Not on camera.
Never on camera. It's never on camera. Although the stuff he does on camera is still utter rubbish.
Well, the dice have to come off something. And then having those furnace cannons and still having the plasma cloud there is still very, very nice on this. Hull on this is still 18, yeah?
Still 18, yeah. Thrust of 8 and signature 14. There's the problem.
Yeah.
The signature is quite large.
I can live with it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a brawler. It's meant to just be, look at me, come and have a go.
Yeah. I can see your point, but still, if you're against something like the Shaltari, and if you get active pinged as well,
yeah,
you know, you're a big sitting whiskery duck.
Not really, because it still has a 3-up save and
True.
A buttload of point defense.
Well, so what the tactics for this would be aggressive, but not too aggressive. Don't
be aggressive. Be a brick in mid-flight.
You think?
Yeah,
just be a brick with
this
that.
This thing goes in. It's just going into wreck house. You know, I'm here. I'm on the tabletop. Fear me. And by the way, don't shoot the other stuff because I'm a big distraction.
Okay, fair enough.
Because if they're shooting at that,
they're not shooting at your cruisers and
exactly.
Yeah.
And your cruisers can do just as much damage as some of these. If you get, say, a set of yokai on the go, you know, because the yokai come to, go to the yokai page there, because they are very, 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 very good light cruisers.
We are definitely getting off topic here, though.
Yeah, but it's nice to have a generalized chat, because it's how fleets work together, which is incredibly important. So how many shots did a yokai get?
Right, the yokai on, let me see, August Beams 2, 1, 2, August Beam Arrays 4, 5.
5, and they come in a unit of 2.
Yeah, so there's 10 that unit's pumping out.
Possible 20.
Yeah.
Ta-da! At less points at 95 each.
True, and you can see how much of the meta Justin has been studying. While he's been looking at the numbers in the book, I've been looking at the pictures. I think that's why my bootcamp experience didn't go so well with my UCM battleship. It just went...
No. Whenever you did that. See, that's the thing you'll always find, guys. Whenever you get one of these, I'm going to give you a piece of advice right now. Paint it up beautifully, gorgeously, go to town on it. Because people are going to get shiny model syndrome and go, that has to die. That's the shiniest, nicest thing he has. That dies today. Yeah.
Fair enough. So... have we done the unboxing? Are we done?
We are done.
We are done.
We are done.
Yep.
Guys, drop your comments in below. What do you think? Is it Demon or Dragon for you for the Scourge, or are you looking at one of the other battleships for one of the other factions? Myself and John will move on here. We will see you in the next one.
It's time for 28mm World War II action. Will you recreate history or reshape it your way? On the Bolt Action Hub at beastsofwar.com. Become a general of mighty armies at the Kings of War Hub. Take command of elves, dwarves and orcs in this game of massed fantasy combat on beastsofwar.com.